And now it's time again for a St. Louis 7 following an episode on Overtime with Oliver, wherever you get your podcast. This week's guest, Vahe Gregorian from the Kansas City Star, formerly of the Post-Dispatch. Thought we touched a lot about the zoo, a lot about your success in Kansas City. Had a good time. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, David.
Okay, first question. Vahe, where did you go to high school and what do you remember?
Swarthmore High School, class of 79, Pennsylvania. What do I remember? I remember that I thought I was in the real world, and that nothing that happened after high school would matter. It sort of turned out to be wrong.
St. Louis or Kansas City barbecue?
Kansas City.
Favorite place?
Place called, it's tough, but we take our out-of-town friends to Char Bar. But there's a bunch of other places.
My dad used to have jacks flown in over the 4th.
Little jack stack, yeah. That was absolutely a way to go, and really we feel like we can't go wrong here. I know that there are a lot of great places in St. Louis, including, I'm embarrassed I can't remember, but I haven't lived there for a while. But that place that always sells out by 2 o'clock down there.
Happy.
Yeah, love it.
In St. Louis, you're at Ted Drew's. What are you ordering?
Probably, is it the Turtle Concrete? Is that one of the?
Sure.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm getting. But can I say this? Is this sacrilege? We kind of became Mr. Wizards people, and love Ted Drew's, but Mr. Wizards was kind of the poor man's Ted Drew's that was a little closer to us. So just getting a word in from Mr. Wizards too. I know it's not the same for most people, but we really enjoyed the Wiz.
Don't know if your driving habits have changed, but when you encounter 10 stop signs, how many do you roll?
My driving habits have changed. I feel that I'm just not in that big a hurry, and that my blood pressure stays better if I just adhere to what I'm seeing out there. It might spike at times, but that's pretty typically how I drive.
When you have friends visit you in Kansas City, where do you take them?
We take them to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, which is absolutely fantastic, with the loving touch of Bob Kendrick. And we take them to the World War I Museum. I've taken them to President Truman's library, and some fine restaurants. But we kind of hit that trifecta a lot.
Are you still working on that Buck O'Neill, another Hall of Fame thing?
You know what? We're gonna I think try to keep pressing the issue here, because it's potentially in play again. I would encourage anyone interested in Buck O'Neill to read my dear friend Joe Posnanski's book about Buck.
But is there not a biggest difference, and not one is better than the other, but what is the biggest difference between St. Louis and Kansas City in your mind?
You know, they are just different, and it's hard to explain. You know, that cliche about Kansas City sort of, you know, being the first Western town and St. Louis facing eastward. We got that a little bit more once we got here, but I think this is true. St. Louis is a smaller big city. Kansas City is a bigger small city, and I think it follows that you have a little bit of that feel here. Like I think it's easier here, and I think people are more directly, instantly welcoming here, just because it's more of a just small town feel. So, but both, to me, look, I know you're not trying to get me into this, but I love both, and I feel like how fortunate we've been to be able to really taste both sides of the state this way.
So I'm going to throw this one out there, unique to Vahe. Again, thanks for the time and good catching up. Why is it important to you to be a good writer?
Well, I think it's a great privilege. First of all, specifically the job is a great privilege. I think also I've never really thought about this before, but I think it's the challenge, and it makes you it makes you try to create, and makes you try to be disciplined all at once. So it's all that, I think. And in the context of the job, I mean, it's led to a lot of travel and just a lot of really fascinating adventures and experiences with other people. So that's through the writing. It's not the writing itself, but that's part of what comes with it in this job.
You're a good dude, man. Thanks for the time.
David, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. It was fun.